Hey guys, Nox here, and this is episode 31 of Let's Talk with Some Random Guys and also best and most awesome YouTuber in the world in high definition. Today is the 27th of March, and our special guest is W92BAJ.
Hi there.
First of all, congratulations on 10k subs. That's always
Thank
a
you.
great mark.
Yeah, it's gone quite quick.
And this episode is special because we are both a bit sick, so
Yes.
well,
A little snotty today.
yes. Okay, let's start with the interview. How did you get into Minecraft?
A lot of people, when they answer this question, always say, "Oh, they watched CNANers or something," but I'm a little bit different. I saw lots of mentions of Minecraft on various blog sites and sort of indie gaming sites and that sort of thing, and I'd seen the name for a few weeks, and suddenly it kind of clicked that I'd seen it so much, maybe I ought to check it out. So I went onto the Minecraft site, and it just happened to be the free weekend, which for the old school Minecrafters will remember, Notch's servers went down and they couldn't authenticate. So he said, "Here, have it for free for the weekend," which was quite good timing, really. So I grabbed that and gave it a go, and he kind of got hooked pretty quick, I think.
Which version was that? I can't really remember.
I can't either. I think it was.
I think it was pre-alpha.
Yeah, it was alpha. It was before the Halloween update came out. So it's about September 2010, I think.
Yeah, that's a long time. I started around this time as well.
Yeah, it's been a while.
And tell me your first reactions on the game.
Well, I remember standing there and clicking the mouse to try and punch the tree and not having a clue what I was doing and wondering why it wasn't breaking. And of course, the game was a lot more basic back then anyway. But once I'd worked out to hold the mouse button, things broke in my hand. Then you kind of, I don't know. It's an odd game, isn't it? You kind of get addicted to.
I was
gonna say I'm a bit of a I've been a Lego fan since I was a small child, so. It's got that vibe to it of sticking blocks on blocks. So
I needed Paul Source Jr.'s tutorial for figuring out that I have to hold the mouse button because I had the same issue.
See, I've never seen a Paul Source Jr. video.
Oh, you're not missing anything.
Sorry? I don't think he's seen any of mine, so it's okay.
How did you start with YouTube?
Back in the early days, I watched. I didn't see Paul Source. I didn't see CNANers. I did watch X, and I did watch Good. And then Good had a competition to get on his server, which was he made a map and put lots of signs in with questions, and I didn't enter that competition, but then kicked myself afterwards, thinking, oh, I really should have. And then later on, he did another video competition where he wanted people to submit Let's Play videos, and I thought, right, he's great. He sounds like the sort of guy you want to go down the pub with. He's really enjoyable to listen to and stuff.
Yeah.
So I thought it'd be good fun to play with him. So I'd been on a couple of sort of multiplayer servers, and I wasn't enjoying the experience because it was usually full of idiots. So I thought it'd be nice to play with people that were nice. So I made a video for that, and that was the first time I'd made a video of a game. And first time I had to start up a YouTube account to actually get it on. So I mean that's pretty much where I started. Then once I actually won the competition, well, there was 3 of us that won, but I had to sort of keep it going.
And what's the story behind your username?
The username goes back a long way. I used to be called Badger when I was at school. I mean, this is going back over 30 years now. And when I used to play down the old arcades, I'm going back to the times when it was Pac-Man and things like that. You only had 3 letters to put your high school name in. So I changed it to BAJ because it sounded like Badge, which is short for Badger, obviously. So that's how that came about. And then the W92 is an old clan tag from when I used to run a Counter-Strike clan back in the pre-source days. And that's come from that.
Now I have to think all the time of Badger Mushroom.
Well, this is the trouble. I have to use W92BAJ now because badge gets taken quite a lot. Yeah, once that video came out, lots of people started using the name Badger, so that kind of went out the window straight away. Um, I think Badge is probably a quite common contraction for Indian names. So I find if I try and get Badge on certain websites and it's taken, and you actually sort of hunt around and find out who's got it, quite a lot of the time they're Indian because I think that, let's say their names quite often start with those sort of letters. So yeah, and there's quite a lot of Indians about, so they've taken quite a lot of them, as it were, yeah, proportionally wise. So yeah, I'm kind of stuck with W92BAJ.
Okay, at the moment, everybody talks about ultra hardcore, so we thought about answering a few frequently asked questions. And your commentary for season 3 of ultra hardcore was a little unconventional. What made you to do it that way?
There was a couple of reasons. Regular watchers of my videos will know that quite often when I'm doing these multiplayer playthroughs with the other guys on the server, it's usually quite late at night because obviously they're in the States and I'm in England, so there's a big time difference. My girlfriend is usually asleep in the next room, and so I have to be quite quiet, which is why people complain a lot about the fact they can hear my breathing over the microphone. It's because the microphone is rammed up nose to try and the sensitivity is turned right up so that I can talk quietly and people can still hear me. In the Ultra Hardcore Series 3, we started recording at, I think it was 2 a.m. by the time everybody got themselves into action. My girlfriend gets up at 6:30 to go to work, so I didn't want to make a lot of noise, so I basically decided this time that I wouldn't record a commentary at all and do it afterwards in post-production. However, because it was early in the morning, when I switched off my microphone, I actually managed to switch off all game sounds completely.
Oh.
So yeah, I was kind of stuck with what to do, and what I have done kind of came out of the air and a spur of the moment idea. It's had mixed reactions. Some people really, really enjoy it, and some people hate it. But you can't please everybody all the time, especially on YouTube.
Yeah, that's right. Do you consider participating in season 4?
Well, yes. We're talking about season 4 at the moment. It hasn't actually been recorded yet. Hopefully, we will be doing it very shortly. Again, we've got to sort of tweak the style a little bit. Obviously, season 1 and season 2 are fairly similar. Then we've gone with this PvP for series 3 to try and change it and find out what works. Really, I think that's what these seasons are. They're like sort of beta tests in a way. In my opinion, I didn't enjoy the PvP so much because I quite like the banter over the commentary between different people. So I prefer a more sort of team-based game. But some people prefer the PvP stuff. So we've got to try and mix it up a little bit, perhaps in Series 4. But yes, hopefully I will be involved.
And who was your toughest opponent in this season? Excuse me.
It's difficult to answer that without giving it away. I think on watching the videos of other people, I think Good's probably the one that's playing it right, and should I walk into him, he would be the toughest one. That or Kurt, because Kurt obviously had the wolf. And had I found wolves, then I probably would have done that too. It's a little unfortunate that I started off in a place where I only had sheep and absolutely nothing else for miles around, so I got a little bit stuck at the start. But yeah, I think that's probably...
Yeah, sorry if you heard a cut, but as I mentioned in my last video, I have not that good internet at the moment, so yeah, excuse me for that. So, do you like the additions of 1.8 and 1.9 such as food, new combat, and magical stuff?
The enchanting I really like. I think it's quite an invaluable... It makes the tools a lot better, gives you that little edge, which is quite good fun. I don't enjoy being level 36 or something and then dying accidentally and then picking all your stuff up again and all of a sudden you're level 4 or 5. I find that quite annoying. Potions. I use potions occasionally. I know sort of Etho and people like that run around with potions all the time. I tend to, make a flame potion or what is it, protection from fire when I'm going into the Nether. But that's about as far as that goes. Food. I didn't like it when it first came out. I still think it probably needs to be tweaked very slightly, but I do prefer it now. I do like it. I think in the old days we used to have combat and then just ram a pork chop down your throat, and all of a sudden you're fighting again. That was a little bit strange.
Yeah.
So, yeah, overall, yes.
And do you like the end of Minecraft?
Never been there.
Oh, you did the same thing.
It's we mean to do it on the Minecraft server, and I want to do it because I've got a golf course that I made, which was going to be an arrow golf course. Then somebody suggested, why not use ender balls and you can play teleport golf with yourself. So I thought, yeah, that sounds like a great idea. But we need to go into the end and actually complete it and then make an ender trap so that we can collect them all. And we keep meaning to go and do it, but obviously with us being all over the world, organising it together and actually going and doing it, it's quite a tall order. So hopefully we'll do that soon.
Okay.
And we'll record it if we do.
Yeah, it's really lame. So it's
it doesn't look particularly taxing. Again, this is one of these things that Notch needs to, Jeb needs to go through and just tweak. I think overall, the entire game, I think they need to sit down and go through every item and decide whether we still need it, whether it should be brought back, like for the sponge or something, and just go through every single one and categorically say yes, and fix it. I think they get kind of sidetracked with new ideas sometimes.
Yeah.
Like that.
Sorry if I break your words sometimes.
That's all right.
Okay, yeah, let's move on. If you could add one thing to Minecraft, what would it be and why would you add it?
There are lots of things. I think now that the ceiling height has been risen, I think there is I think a long time ago somebody mentioned, I would say somebody at Mojang mentioned hang gliders. I know when you interview with Good, he said gliders or something, and there's parachutes in the Ether mod, and I think maybe if you have 9 string in a box, that makes cloth, and then 3 cloth across the top and a V of 3 string, you can make a parachute or something, and then we can have a bit of sort of base jumping off of very tall buildings or something. I think that would be quite fun.
Yeah, I agree. And if you would have to remove one thing, what would that be?
Do you know, I really don't know. Sometimes I think, cave spiders, because I hate them. But other times you think, well, we need some challenging mobs. So I'd actually probably prefer to add a few more nasty mobs like that. So I don't know, really. I think nothing. There you go.
And can you imagine something like Minecraft 2?
I can imagine Minecraft rebuilt in a different engine. I think I saw someone build it in a Cry engine or something as a test demo, where the land's more deformable, and it's not just square blocks. And maybe that in the future, when computer systems are a bit stronger, would be nice. I know there's a lot of talk this week about EA getting involved, which is something obviously I think I would hate to see. That's that would be the death knell. So hopefully, if they do think about doing a Minecraft 2, it's Mojang on their own doing what they do best. But as it stands, I can't see how.
I think if EA would do that, Minecraft would be kind of ruined, because they would toggle all the updates and everything and deactivate most of the modding, I guess.
Yeah, I think EA are a bit like a sort of a cancer for gamers. They infect everywhere, and I've actively stopped buying anything EA now. It's gotten such a joke. I mean, I bought Battlefield 3. I don't want to get off tangent here, but there's so many things you have to do, and the way it's set up to join multiplayer games, and you can tell it's done by committee, and there's a big room full of people that are trying to get your money out of you, whereas the good ideas room is completely empty. So
yeah, that's true. Okay, and now it's time for your subscriber questions. And the first one is by 1990 N. Miller, and he asks, whatever happened to the quest for everything? Did you get bored of it, or what happened?
It's not gone anywhere. I paused it because I was running out of hard drive space because of all the ultra hardcore stuff we were recording. So it had to take a break. I'm now at the point where I'm thinking about restarting it again. I'm questioning whether I should update it to 1.2.4. Because obviously every time there's a game update, there's more blocks to collect.
Yeah.
I think I probably will in retrospect, but I haven't made the final decision on that. But it will be coming back soon.
Okay, Spoon Productions and several others asked, where in England do you live?
I was born just outside the west of London. If you are familiar with Ali G. He comes from Staines, and I came from pretty much Staines. These days I live up north. I live in Leeds, which is the fourth biggest city, I think, in the UK.
Cool. Okay, The Feeder asks, is gaming, YouTube, video productions your real life profession? And if not, what do you wish you'd had been professionally when you grew up?
Again, congratulations on reading that name.
Thank you.
It took me a while to work that one out. It's not my ideal profession. However, if you can make a career out of it, then playing games and making videos, then why not? I'm not at that stage yet, not by a long shot. But if I get to Ethos style subscriber numbers, then maybe. I've always been a graphic designer. I was a graphic designer when I was at college, and that's what I do now. That said, I do a lot of web design stuff, and I don't really enjoy doing web design stuff. I'm a technical illustrator by trade, a print designer stroke technical illustrator. So that's what I really like doing, but there's not a lot of work for that around at the moment. So you've got to do what you can.
Okay, Eduardo5 asks, have you ever seen a zebra? Does the sun ever come out in England?
Yes, and yes.
Lance McNair asks, how did you get into video games?
I'm a child of that age, I think. When I was very young, my father built. Do you remember Pong?
Yes.
Two paddles. He built a little box that played Pong. Because my father's funny, he wouldn't buy something if he could make it. So he wouldn't buy an Atari system, he'd make one. So we had that, and then I was 5, and then it grew from there. I had Spectrums and my dad's PC. Again, my father worked in computing for the water company, so he'd be at quite the cutting edge of sort of large industrial systems. And he'd come back home and we'd have this little green screen PC because he wouldn't buy Windows because he thought it was too much of a resource hog. So I used to play text adventure games on this green screen PC while everybody else was playing games on their Windows 3.1 machines. But I got, as I say, Spectrum, and then it grew up from there. But it's just from childhood.
And these days you can make Pong in Minecraft.
It's so ridiculous. Every now and again, I'll send my dad videos of GTA 4 or something, and just say, "Look how the games have changed. We used to have to use your imagination to work out what the graphics were showing you, and now we've got photorealistic cities that work on their own. It's crazy."
Yeah. Mr. Jamie Whelan asks, "What do you think of Ireland and Irish people?"
This goes back to a joke I made on, I think it's series 1 of Ultra Hardcore. It's a funny thing. It's this racism thing. If you make a joke about somebody, and it happens to include a race, you are therefore racist. And this annoys me greatly, because there is a very large difference between, I mean, comedy is about difference. It always has been. If I make a joke, say, like for English people, Germans have got a very strange way of making sentence construction, because your grammar works slightly different.
Yeah.
So if I make a joke about that, it's because it sounds funny to us. It's not because I hate Germans, and that's a difference. And a lot of people can't see that.
Yeah, that's true.
If you say I hate you because you're German, that's racism, and it's a very different thing. So, as far as Irish people go, I have no problem with Irish people whatsoever. But at the same time, I'm sure there are Irish arseholes out there.
If there are assholes everywhere.
Exactly.
Okay, up to SD, and I guess a lot of people ask: is there a way for an average guy like myself to join Minecraft server?
I included this question because it gets asked a lot. Not surprisingly, the Minecraft server is a great place to be. It's partly luck, but the guys on there are great guys, and Good's managed to get a good society going there. He gets about 100, 150 requests a day to join the server, and obviously you can't say yes to everybody. That's why one of the reasons why the fan server was set up, to let some people join that. It's just not possible, and at the moment we're not letting anybody new on. Whether that changes in the future, I don't know. Occasionally we'll let somebody on that's quite a good name, because that helps promote Minecraft and then gets more people in to watch our videos, and the lesser videos, which I was one of the lesser subs. I'm now sort of moving up, thankfully, to the ultra hardcore, but there are other guys that have less subs than me that do videos, so it helps promote them as well and get them more noticed. But maybe in the future there'll be another competition to let people in, but as it stands at the moment, it ain't gonna happen.
And yeah, that's it with the questions by your subscribers. Thanks again for everybody who sent in the questions. Sadly, we can't answer everything.
You can't take everybody in.
Yeah, because there's so many. But I hope that we answered most of your questions. So, do you have any goals that you want to achieve with your channel in the future?
I never thought it would get to the size it is now, to be honest with you. If I can get it to a point where I can do it as a career, then that would be great. But no, we'll just see how it goes. I mean, it could all end tomorrow for all I know.
And tell me something about your future projects.
It's a tricky one. Because I'm in inverted commas a creative, my brain tends to kind of go a little bit wild, and I have these ideas on what I'm going to do, and then the next day I'm bored with that idea and think of something else. I've got a little project that I'm doing at my house at Spawn, which is for one of my larger donators. Obviously we get donations every now and again. Not as many as I'd like. So a couple of guys have been very generous and given me, quite sizable donations, which is, fantastic. And when they do that, I tend to try and build them something to commemorate that, to say, thanks a lot. And I've been working on one in the Spawn house for a long time. And yesterday I've decided that I didn't like where it was going, and I've knocked that down. I'm going to start again. So that's probably my big project at the moment, just to let him know that I haven't actually forgotten him.
And do you think there will be an end of a Minecraft hype?
Yeah, they've handled it very well. The sort of the slow drip of new features and changes is great. It's what keeps the game alive, because you get to the point where you're thinking, I'm a bit bored of this now, and then bang, you've got cats, or bang, you've got new blocks, and it changes. That said, I think over time that excitement will decrease. It's a bit like a drug addiction, isn't it? we get a new block hit, and then it's not quite as big as it was when Pumpkins came or something.
Oh yeah.
So it will go, obviously, but I can't see it going quite yet.
Jeb said, if there will be another Minecon, it will be in Europe. Do you want another Minecon? And if yes, where shall it be?
Yeah, I mean, I know that was a bit of a strange noise, wasn't it? It's never going to be the same as the Vegas Minecon because that was obviously the first and the launch. But yes, I would like to have another Minecon. I think that would be great. I couldn't get to the Vegas one obviously because that was really expensive. If there's one over here, then that's going to be a bit better. Personally, I'd like to see it in Leeds because then I can go home in the evening. I suspect it will either be in Sweden, London, or possibly something a bit more Central Europe. I don't know, eastern side of Germany perhaps, or maybe Germany, France, somewhere like that. Somewhere on top of Italy. That's that sort of area, perhaps. I don't know. But I'm thinking Sweden or London is probably the most likely. If it's London, I'll go probably.
Yeah. Okay, and that's it for our interview today. I really enjoyed it. It was really funny. And if you liked the video, don't forget to check out Best's channel out. The link is in the description. And anyways, it would be awesome if you could help us on our way to 1,000 subscribers. And I promise you won't regret it.
Yeah, you do need more subs, I think. I'm surprised because you've got some big names in your interview, so I'm surprised more people haven't subbed to you by now.
Thank you.
So get there and do it.
And yeah, that's it for today. Next interview will be on Thursday with Vintage Beef.
Vintage Beef!
And
my man. Sorry.
No problem. And see you guys next time. Bye.